What's going on? MourN back again today. And I did an event review and I talked about the ore. And then I started testing the ore. I kind of had an idea of how it would go, that it was for tanks and things of that nature. But let's read over the ore and read of its abilities again, and then we'll talk through it. And some comps and some heroes it's used on. Void counter ore, hit point. I'm at 11, so it's plus 16% now, and speed is plus 32%. When attacked, there is an 8% chance to stun the attacker for 1 round, increase the chance to 10%, increase the chance to 12% at 15. I'm at plus 11. It's pretty good. I have to be honest that in this event, if you have to choose one single item, and I literally mean one, but even with the Twilight ore, even if you're new, you have to choose this ore. This ore is amazing. Like, it's so good. I was stuck at 550 hard for about 3 weeks now. 3 weeks I've been on the same stage because I've been unable to get August's speed to a place where I wanted it. And that's the stat that's defining this ore. It's not the hit points. It's not the stun, because the stun is not a great chance. It's the speed. My goodness. Having August go before the Ogre just allowed me to easily outpace his damage because I could keep healing over and over. And then, as you know, with August, as he uses his active, he also starts to feed energy to your team, and that's huge. So I was getting more actives on Matthew, which was allowing my team to heal. And then in the long term, Genji did what Genji always does. Margaret died, because that's what Margaret does at this point in the game. And Genji carried me to victory. The boss had like 70% health left. And between August, Genji, and Matthew, it could not kill Genji. And Genji just wrecked the boss. So I've been testing this, and this ore is ideal for August and Alex. This is nice because not everybody, you get within the game, you have two choices. You have two ways that you can get August or Alex, and that's through summons, or you have the tribe store for August, and you have the expedition store for Alex. And most people in the tribe store, they want to focus on Margaret first, because that is the ideal choice, because she's going to push you to a point where you actually are going to use August. That means that for me, for instance, I chose Karthus first and then a little bit of Alex, and I mixed it. But with this ore, you don't have to choose both of them. You can choose Alex from this store, from the expedition store, which is a great hero anyway. He was not the S tier that August is, and he's still not. But with this ore, he goes from what I would honestly say was a high B to maybe a low A tier to a high A to maybe even an S tier. This ore is phenomenal on him. And that's something that really needs to be taken into account. I tested on a couple other heroes that I wanted to see how it would go. And in PvE, it's clear the ore should be on August or Alex. It could also be on Oliver. That would also be a very, very good choice, putting it on Oliver, because his skill set just really helps with it. Because him going active first, that, what is it, Wolf's Howl, I believe is the name of it. Double check. Yeah, Wolf's Howling, where it largely reduces the damage for a turn. That's super helpful to your team, especially if you have it synced up to where the boss or an enemy that normally kills you is going to active. He uses it because he's now got this obscene addition to speed, and then bam, you don't die anymore. You're alive and you're continuing the fight. So heroes like that, it's very useful for. Another hero that I think is going to have big implication on later is Berea. Berea at plus 30 artifact gets plus 20 plus 20 block percent each round for 3 rounds. So at round 3, he's essentially having a plus 60% block. Once you get more speed on him, he's going before everybody else. So he gets his active off. So he's reflecting damage, and then it's adding hit points. And then he could have anywhere from 140 to 160 block. he's almost guaranteed to block. So he's healing in the hit points, and it's a 10% of his hit points. This is increasing his healing. So Berea just also kind of moved up. He was already late game better than Sylvia. Now he's going to be much better than Sylvia. But this is the ore that needs to go on him, and it frees up this block ore for another hero that benefits from it. Say you want to go in ruins and farm it. Well, Alex and August are a great combo, but you normally don't have the damage there. Well, with those, you can remove a hero like Sarah or something like that, and you have massive damage mitigation. It is a fantastic ore. I tested the ore also on Hercules because I was thinking, okay, I have some tank gear that has some control rate to it. Maybe, just maybe that, with the stun, it would work out. I wasn't super hopeful, but I was thinking that it's possible. The stun percent chance is not in any way, shape, or form affected by control rate. And that's a little unfortunate because that would make the ore much better. And to verify that, I put it on my Sarah, who has an 86% control rate, and she didn't really stun anybody extra abnormally large amount. With that control rate, it should be able to happen. The other hero, now when you move in, that's the PvP aspect or PvE aspect. Now as you go into PvP, this thing becomes even more important because Matthew is typically the green ore. The green ores you want it on Matthew because, well, it gives a 50% plus healing effect, and that's super good. And it is very good. But the way the meta is currently shaped out is turn 1, everybody attacks maybe a frontline Margaret or wherever she's placed, and they deal some damage to Margaret. Margaret pops off, she throws dot stacks on you. And then by the time everybody goes, maybe by the time Matthew gets his opportunity to go, your Sarah has died from the dot stacks. Basically your team has been affected by dots so much that, that's it. They're going to die. Margaret has closed the game, whether she's alive at this point or not. But with this ore, Matthew's hit points increase, which increases his healing. And then on top of that, he gets faster. So he's going early in the round, so nobody else is getting additional dot stacks before he's using his active. August's implication in PvP is the same. August going first, it's not going to mitigate the dot stacks that Margaret gives, and I keep bringing up the dot stacks because that is the current meta within PvP. It doesn't mitigate it off August, but it does allow all those other heroes to basically do very little damage because August is already going off before. And I've said in my August review, August needs speed to be the most effective that he can be. The other hero for PvP I want to talk about for this ore is Merrell. Merrell is a fantastic hero. And Merrell is the future meta of PvP. Merrell-Sarah combo is the top meta in PvP right now that I've found. And I've done a lot of testing. Merrell has the ability to get a turn 1 active. The only issue is you want to build her with so much crit damage and block break that you sometimes have to forego speed. This ore mitigates that issue. That means Merrell's going within the first 3 heroes. With good stat rolls, Merrell's going to kill everything in the very beginning, and that is fantastic because once she starts going off, then Sarah goes off, uses her passive, and she silences everybody. And for me personally, she silences everybody very often because not many people invest heavily in control resistance, and with an 86% control rate plus the passive, I think it's 35%, I'm almost guaranteed to get at least 50% of the team. Now I'm sending Merrell first, and that also is another way to mitigate the one problem that you have with Margaret, is a slow Margaret, turn 1 active, she takes all that damage and then she heals right back up. This just prevents it entirely because she's not going to be able to heal. The other heroes that this ore can have a very good effect on are the last hero is Saruman. Saruman has an interesting ability that when he actives, he's going to give this arcane blessing to 3 random allies. That means that the next attack is going to be a critical hit no matter what. So if you have it on a on a Genji and you're running him in PvP, or a Musashi, that can be very, very devastating. It doesn't do so well for Merrell because Merrell actives turn 1, and then you're not really getting what you need from that unless you build him in a specific way. That concludes the video for the ore. I've been testing this thing a lot, and I really have to say that between the two new ores, this is the best ore of them. And in fact, it might be the best ore in the game. This thing can go on nearly any hero, and it instantly makes them better. It doesn't have to have a focus like all the other ores do. It just puts them over the top, and speed is clearly the direction of the meta. And with gear being so hard to get, I'm assuming that it's going to continue at its +4 pace. That's a +48 speed. That's insane. That's going to put everybody up so high. I'm going to equip my Marrow with her normal gear to give you an idea. Like, so my Marrow with her normal gear. Yep, that's right. She has a 15. Nope, that's not the right gear. Place. Yep, that's the piece. No, it's not. Anyway, my Merrell, when I deck it out and everything, she has a 63.5 or a 64% crit rate. I don't have the crit node in the rune tree. That would put it at 70%. And I normally throw on this energy ore, which, now that I'm thinking about it, I normally throw on this energy ore, which gives plus 20% crit. But that may not be necessary if we're getting her to go first, which allows everyone to be silenced. So it's just going to prevent that turn 2 active from everybody. Once again, that's it for this ore. This ore is fantastic. I know there's some issues with this event, but if there's one thing to take away from this, you have to grab this ore. It helped me advance by at a point that I just couldn't advance. 3 weeks stuck there. I wasn't even getting the boss down to 50%. And then I tried it like 5 times and I passed it. I mean, and each time it was clearly very close. If you enjoy my content, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you all and have a great day.